Oh, if you need to put it up right now. So, so this is her son, and she's going to tell you her own story. But she was saying, she, uh, she was talking about herself as a victim, and I'm thinking, um, I've always heard of survivor. I've always heard survivor in that. And so that's just what I want to kind of just call that out, because you weren't the victim of the violence yourself. You didn't take the bullet yourself, but you struggled in your own way, and you came to a life or death decision, and you survived that. So you are a survivor. So I want to just call that out right now. This story is coming from a different perspective. It's a mother's perspective, but it's also a human and a personal perspective of a survivor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Hannah. I said I wasn't going to get emotional, but it's pretty hard, so. Well, let me start by, again, my name is Renee Garcia, and my story is a little bit different. It's more personable. I'm a mother, a single mother of 3 beautiful children. Erin, which is up here, Marissa, and Alana. And those are my life, they're my rock. And I would not be who I am today without them. Because as a mother, I want to do everything to protect them and to make them successful in growing up. So as I tell my story, first, out of everyone in here, who, by a show of hands, who loves their mother? Right? Just about everyone. Thank you. So with that said, I'm going to tell my story, and it's about a mother's grief and my road to recovery. So as I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and play the DVD, which is just a video of my son's classmates made this video to play at his funeral. So I'm going to hit play, but I'm going to still be talking. But I really pay attention to what I'm saying, because it's real what all your mothers would feel. And it goes 2 ways, being incarcerated or the death of you, okay? Okay. So, on February 8th, 2008, I would take my kids to the park every about 3 times a week. February 8th, 2008, I decided after work we're going to go to the park for a barbecue as normal. And we went there with a group of friends and having a great time. And my kids went to the peninsula to go play and skip rocks, fish, as I hung out with my friends. And while standing in the park, I seen 4 individuals walking across the park. And I noticed something odd about it. It was the gentleman had a red rag over his face. Apparently, there was someone in my group that I was with that those individuals did not like. They were 2 rival gang members. The gentlemen that were walking through the park had drove through the park and seen that individual there and decided to go back to their hood, as they call it, and go pick up 3 more people and come back to the park, all of them with guns. So as we're walking across the park, I just have this terrible feeling, just the aggression that was being walked, everything about it. So as I watched him get closer, I could tell he had something in his pants. I stood there and I watched while I was looking out for my children in fear. The gentleman got about 100 feet away and started hollering gang slurs. At this time, I don't know what's going on because I wasn't the person that they were there for. My children or the other people in my group. There was just one individual. Well, the gentleman reached in his pants, pulled out a MAC-10, cocked it, and told us he would blow each and every one of us. At that moment, it didn't matter if he was to shoot me. My instinct was to go get my children and protect them. So I go get my children and I go down to the peninsula, take them to safety. Everything was okay, but still I feared because a gun just had been pulled on me and I want to protect my kids. I looked up and seen them walking back across the park. They didn't harm anybody. So I thought, you know what, it's safe, let's go. Took my kids, ran to the car, got in. Every car, about, I think it was in court, they said 8 cars. We all sped out of there about 40 to 50 miles an hour trying to get to safety because we were all scared. As I was driving, bullets erupted and I drove faster. Suddenly I felt a pain in my arm right here. The bullet had went through my door, through my arm, and at that time I did not know my son was shot. I drove in probably another 100 feet. I told my kids I'm shot because I felt the burning in my arm. And my son hysterically said, "Mom, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, just don't worry about it. Just get down." Seconds later, he says, his last words to me were, "I think I'm hit." And he went down. Those were the last words that I ever heard from my son. "I think I'm hit." I drove him to the hospital. They worked on him where they couldn't revive him and pronounced him dead. So, my message, that's just short and sweet, but my message, why I'm here to stand in front of you and tell my story, is about choices. Choices that we all make as individuals and young people of who we hang around with and trying to be cool for our homies. It's not cool just because your homie doesn't like someone else to go get a gun and shoot at people. 32 rounds of bullets were let off at 8 cars, and out of all those cars, my car was hit. I lost my son because 2 gangs didn't like each other. Okay? Now, the boys were your guys' age. Your guys' age, 15, 17, 18, 21. Now, 2 prison life sentences. One's in jail for 33 years, the other one for 26 years. The 2 that did not get life got 3 strikes. So all their time that they're in there now, they have to be good boys, otherwise they're gonna go for the rest of their life also. So what's the fairness in that to me? What's the fairness in that? It's not fair, and it's not fair as a mother. Now let's talk about the trauma, what it's done to me. For the first 2 to 3 years of after Aaron was gone, it was a really big struggle for me to wake up out of bed. I lost my job. Not to tell you guys that my daughters also were in the back seat of that car and had to hold their brother up all the way to the hospital that day. I'm sure none of you guys want your brother or sister to have to suffer that. I'm sure you guys don't want to do that to anyone. This is real. It's real. It's my heart. It's what I've been through. It's what I go through on a daily basis. The hurt, the pain, the struggle. You know, I've never really talked in front of this big of a crowd, but I'm very happy to do it because of the fact that you guys have a choice. You have a choice to make. If you see someone doing it or come to you and say it, you have a choice to say, man, that's not cool. We don't play with guns. I say no to gangs, I say no to guns. As I look at all of you today, I see everybody paying attention. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very proud of you for being here. I'm very proud of you for wanting to make a change in society. You guys are all important to us, all of you. And in that, don't do this to your mother. Don't make your mother go through what I've been through. A lot of people are not as strong as me. Some people will fall down to the ground and not get back up. I thought I was gonna be that mother. I was that mother for 2 years. I can say I was the worst. I hit rock bottom. I tried to commit suicide and take my life because I couldn't handle it. This is real. Nobody wants their mom to go through this. But see, whenever I tried to commit suicide, that was the best thing that I did because it opened my eyes. It woke me up. It made me see that I have a different purpose in life. And my purpose is to do this, to tell everyone my story so every one of you guys can know what not to do. We have to stop the violence. We have to stop the hate. We have to stop this, or it will just keep going on for ages and ages and ages. It may not be your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, your friend. It can be anybody. Anybody. I can honestly say, since this has happened to me, and I've started talking to youth, I have changed lives. I have definitely changed lives. I have been in front of people, youngsters your age with guns in their hand, and told them, do you want your mother to feel like this? And it's reality. You know, I don't enjoy making people cry. I do not enjoy people feeling bad over my story. I want people just to realize and say, dude, it's not okay for you to carry a gun. It's not okay for you to sell a gun. You guys can make the difference if you just speak up. Don't sit down and say nothing or changes cannot be made. With that said, my job now is to build a strong community to stop the violence in Stockton. I work with fathers and families of San Joaquin for a reason, to educate the youth, to help the families, to build on my strength. I have to be strong for my son. I have to be the one to spread the word. I refuse to let my son die in vain. I refuse to let him be forgotten. I refuse to stop telling you guys not to play with guns. Anyways, with that said, every year I do an event in the park. It's called Aaron Kelly Day in the Park, and the city of Stockton sponsors it. It'll be coming up. It's still in the works, but I believe June 1st. I'll be putting things out.